Hey guys, this is Into the Fray. I'm Austin Neil Gregory, your host, and on this episode we have Noah Blount from Northside Baptist Church in Valdosta on with us, and I'm recording this like I did with Andrew Rowland's episode right after me and Noah got done talking. Reason why is, like Andrew, Noah just gave me such an excitement. Like, I went into this conversation, me and Noah haven't spent a lot of time together. We had him and his girlfriend Kirsten Lay over for dinner one night, and that's really the only experience I've had with him besides like he was at my wedding. But as we got to talking, not only did the conversation flow beautifully, like no struggle whatsoever, I felt like, but Noah, hearing his heart behind why he wants to be a senior pastor, why he has this love for youth ministry, why like his goals within ministry was encouraging because of some of my criticisms of church life right now and church culture. I've talked about it before. I'm struggling with some of the cult personality stuff that I see happening in churches, even small churches, not just mega churches like Hillsong or Marseille. It's happening in smaller churches, and I think what you'll gain from this episode is not only an appreciation for Noah and his authenticity, his transparency about real things he struggled with over the years growing up, and you get to hear a lot from his personal side and his personal story and how Jesus came and changed his life, but also he is incredibly wise, and his heart for ministry to pass the baton, as he'll say later on, that's rare. Like, I cannot express how rare that is. So not only is it been encouraging the last few weeks having Noah on, but also Andrew Rowland, two guys, you know, in my age range in ministry, and hearing their heart for the ministry and just being inspired. Like, I'm incredibly thankful for guys like Noah, Andrew, Ryan Adams, people who are younger in ministry and them having these pure intentions. I really pray that all of us, we don't fall victim to the toxicity that can exist in the church. And I think that what Noah's doing over there at Northside is freaking incredible. I'm really blown away because Northside, it's a big church in our area. I am encouraged knowing that what you'll hear on this episode is Noah's actual heart for ministry. It's encouraging to know that at a big church like Northside, they have someone like Noah over there who's, you know, he's doing the work, and he's doing the personal work. He's doing the actual like ministry work. And so I'm just saying, enjoy this episode because you will, and go ahead, also subscribe to the podcast feed. If you want to check out what else we got going on at Into the Fray, you can go to our website. It'll be the link in the description, and I'll take you to intothefray.com. There you'll have blogs, you'll have links to our social media, to the podcast. Also, this is obviously a bonus episode because we have shifted some things in the episode lineup of Into the Fray. As you heard last week, we are starting a series going through the book of Galatians. Episodes are shorter. They're like 20, 30 minutes at the most usually. I think last week it's like 14. Anyways, the lineup is different. We'll have more like devotional type content on this channel. But the beautiful part of this is we'll have interviews like with a Noah and an Andrew and some others that I'm looking forward to connecting with as bonus episodes. And you'll get to hear some of the heart behind some of the ministries in the churches in our local area. So just stay tuned. Also, share this episode on Facebook, Instagram, share it to your stories, send it to your first 5 friends, send it to your group chats or whatever you got going on. This greatly helps the podcast spread the word about not only what we're doing at Into the Fray, what we're doing at the Bridge, but also what's going on at Northside or Refuge or First Baptist Tifton, wherever, Grace Baptist in Naylor. This spreads awareness about, hey, there are good things going on in the church, and we really want to highlight that. So thank you.
Help provide food. That they work with Red Cross and the Salvation Army.
Mm-hmm.
So there's, honestly, I can't even tell you how many people, probably around that 100, if not a little over 100 number of people that's come out from all over the U.S. I know a lot from Texas and Alabama and Mississippi. And so it's teams that local Baptist organizations under Southern Baptist, they send out teams, and so they're staying at our church right now. And so they got cots and air mattresses. They sleep there. They help prepare food for people.
Oh, wow.
And then there's a teams that go out. If you have a tree down or if you need help cleaning up your yard, like they got tractors, all kind of equipment. They will clean your yard and no cost.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's really cool. I did not know Southern Baptist had that, and I was like,
I didn't either.
That's cooperative program right there.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Is there? I think this is his name, Charlie Banks.
Mm-hmm.
I've been very appreciative of his podcast.
Really?
Because we're friends on Facebook, anything you're tagged in, I see.
Yeah.
And so I remember seeing, like, you get tagged in something a while back because of his podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, like, I'll check it out, like, eventually. And then when the first time we were going to record, the days before, I had listened to the first episode, and then he came out with another one of, like, an update, because you've been, like, Israel and all this stuff. And I was like, this is the first guest I have, like, I can prep for. Everyone else is
That's
like,
funny.
I might go stalk your Facebook to like, try to find something.
Yeah.
But most people aren't posting that much on there for me to actually be like, okay, so tell me about this.
Yeah.
So he's like, he did a lot of work for me. I was like, yeah, this is sweet.
Charlie is a cool dude. I love his podcast.
And what I loved about his, because I listened to your episodes, I listened to Daniel Holcomb.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's one other person, but Charlie's such a great speaker.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, you should be like the next Jimmy Fallon. Like, he is like, he's got I'm assuming this is just how he naturally is, but like he's got this like natural charisma.
Mm-hmm.
That like, the thing with his podcast is it's a lot of interviews of people in y'all's church, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that like I know this because we've done it at the Bridge. It doesn't, to outsiders, we're not like, yeah, Noah Blount. Is that how you say your last name?
Yeah, you're
okay.
right. Yeah.
Okay, Noah Blount. Like I've been waiting for this day. It's like, no, he's introduced. This is like your introduction to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he has so much excitement in his voice, just naturally.
Yeah.
That he amps you up, like in every episode for whatever guest he's about to introduce you to, and so he's like perfect for that.
Yes.
And I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, he should, like, if y'all aren't using him to like start off Sunday mornings, y'all definitely should. Like,
that's a good idea.
He is so good at this, and he's young. Like,
yeah, senior in high school.
Okay.
Yep.
That was the other thing that blew my mind, because at first I was listening to him and I was like, okay, he's probably like some like college like student or whatever, and he's this is part of like his internship or something. I don't know. And then I hear that he's in high school.
Yeah.
I was like, what kid in high school sounds like this? Like, mind blowing. I'm thinking about the high school kids at the Bridge. And I'm like, man, we need to get like Charlie to come over here and like amp y'all up. Y'all a little too sad on Wednesday nights.
See, Charlie, be like Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. But yeah, he's an awesome student having the ministry. He's becoming a huge leader on Wednesdays and Sundays, and even as Northside as a whole, when it comes to any type of event or promotion for anything, he is like the biggest advocate for it. He will post it everywhere, talk to everyone about it, unashamed, and it's just awesome. It's really cool.
Okay. So, what is y'all's internship program like? Because I feel like I've seen a few different posts on different people who went through it, and I think you may have talked to me about it before. Is that, what's the goal with the internship?
Yeah, so it's changed over the years. It's kind of just, I think, Northside trying to figure out the best way to do it. Like, I think for myself, I was the 5th or 6th intern that's come through Northside.
Oh, wow.
It started out, originally, it was just one intern at a time, and they were full-time, there all day, and...
Do y'all pay them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Paid internship. And so full-time, and it was really just they served one specific ministry.
Is it a ministry they get to choose, or
yeah, it's kind of whatever
assigned?
their passion is.
Okay.
Like I think our first intern, he interned under the worship ministry because he sang, played the guitar, he was talented in that area, so they put him there.
Okay.
And so other interns that's come through after that, they served, I think, under either youth or college, because they were wanting to go that way in ministry. When I started, my passion was youth ministry, but I didn't start interning under youth ministry. So my main connection to Northside in kind of 2018 and 2019, even though I was still in youth, I helped lead the media at Northside. And it was just volunteer. I had always been a part of it, and there was a slot that needed to be filled, so I just helped fill it in what I could.
Yeah.
Well, then our worship pastor came, or new worship pastor came in 2018, 2019, and he brought me on to be his intern in 2020. So I am not talented any all musically. It's not me. But I interned under the worship ministry because it's connected to the media ministry. Yeah. And so I interned under him for a year and a half and then moved into a full-time position. But so that's how interns were. They were full-time for a while. But then 2 summers ago, they started to change how they do it, where it's just a summer internship. But doing it that way, they're able to do more interns. And so I think we had either four interns, I think, that summer.
Okay.
1 for kids, 1's for youth, 1's for music, and then 1 was kind of under the administrative side, so working like in the offices.
Okay.
Specifically.
That's sweet.
Yeah. And so that was, I think, my favorite setup of internship, because you're able to get more students, or those were college then, college people connected, where it's not just 1 here, 1 there.
Yeah.
But one of those interns, Daniel, he was able to stay on full time because, I mean, he worked hard at it, and he showed that he filled a huge need and a hole in the worship ministry.
So what does he do?
He interns under Pastor Jeff still, and so his kind of main responsibilities are, I mean, getting things ready for Sunday, lyrics, that kind of thing, but he helps lead our youth choir. That's a huge part of his responsibilities.
Okay.
Helps with
when you say
music.
Pastor Jeff
Scoggins.
Okay.
Not Lay.
Okay. I was like, is Jeff Lay a pastor?
He's on staff
there. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's our orchestra guy, and he's over the orchestra and the band.
I did not know that at all.
Yeah.
How long has that been? Was this at the last Christmas?
I think it was before then. Maybe I know it's been over a year. It may be getting close to that 2-year mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he has more responsibilities than just but his main thing is on Wednesday nights, when we have rehearsal. He works with the orchestra and band, but then also if our main worship pastor Jeff Scoggins is out, he's the guy who will lead worship and lead the choir and all that. So he's the number 2 guy.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because y'all's orchestra and choir is humongous.
Yeah.
So if that was just his one job, I'd be that hire someone else to help him out.
Yeah.
That is, I'm thinking about how in more contemporary churches, which I feel that's a loaded term. There's so many different types of contemporary. Southside was considered contemporary compared to where we came from, which was singing out of hymn books, only a piano if we're lucky, to, when Jeff was there, like we had a band, and we'd sing like God's Not Dead every now and then, like that was the big moment.
Yeah.
But then there's another level to contemporary, which is like Crosspoint.
Yes.
Which is like, we're not just changing the music, we're like, the walls are painted black and it's a light show. But I'm thinking about like contemporary churches, they just have like say 7 people in the band that they're like working with.
Yeah.
You guys there's like hundreds, right?
Yeah, there's about that 80 mark in the choir, 7 or 8 in the band, and about 10 to 15 in orchestra.
That's so mind blowing.
Yeah.
Because is there when it comes to making sure these people are showing up every Sunday to perform, are like, what's the rules with that? Do you know of? Like, I feel like I hear a lot of churches struggle with having volunteers who show up to practice, and even Sunday morning, like, you'll just get the random call like, I don't feel like coming this Sunday, so I know I'm supposed to lead, but I'm out.
Yeah.
How do y'all structure that to where y'all have that many people who are like dedicated volunteers?
Yeah. We don't normally have a huge problem on the commitment side. Sometimes we do. I don't want to say it's like perfect. It's nowhere near perfect. Like those people, sometimes they're not there. Like other things come up, that kind of thing. But I will say a lot of people in our worship ministry, they love their church. Okay. They really do. They love their church. And so when it comes to leading in worship, they're there. They're there. Special events, normal Sundays, they're there ready to go. And we use resources like Planning Center to send out the information and have them respond, and that kind of thing. But also our worship pastor, Scoggins, he's set up a system where he has ministry team leaders. So he has leaders that communicate with choir members. Like, they have their section almost. Like, you'll have one person for the bass, one person for the sopranos, altos, and tenors. So they have their group that they reach out to and communicate with. And it's the same way with the band and orchestra. You have leaders that communicate with a smaller group.
Okay. And there's a lot of delegation.
Mm-hmm. And they just help communicate, encourage each other. There's probably more to it. But from what I see, I know that's a huge part of it, is building up leaders to help communicate with the individuals.
Yeah. So one of the things that stands out about Northside is, and I'm only looking at it from afar, like Berlin's been there, so she tells me a lot of what was going on. From the outside, there's a love for being at Northside. Like, we are in this is our church. Like, my buddy Seth, he plays in our band.
Yeah.
He was telling me about because he goes to VSU. I think he's like a freshman, and we were talking about one day. I was like, "Yeah, do you know Tucker Browning?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "Actually, there's a lot of people who know you, Austin." And I was like, "What? I didn't go to VSU." Like, and honestly, most of my friends didn't, like, if they went to college, like, they went to Wiregrass, and the rest of us, we just didn't go to college.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know who would know me at VSU. And later I was thinking, I was like, I wonder if it's the Northside kids. That's like the only connection to VSU I really have. And it's not even like a connect. It's like, I know of these people because of Berlin or because of Noah Jenkins or whoever.
Yeah.
And so I text him. I'm like, "Are you talking about Northside? Have you met Northside kids?" And he's like, "Oh yes, I've met the Northside kids." He's like, they're like the ones who are like, "Where do you go to church? We'll get you plugged in," and they're definitely like, "We're gonna get you plugged in Northside. Like, we want you."
That's cool.
Which is, it's cool because they're enthusiastic about their church home, which I think can sometimes be rare depending on where you're at. Like, I'm thinking about when I was in high school. Granted, Lanier is a very specific high school. Like, we had, I talked to Andrew Rowland, because we went to high school together, and he's a coach at Clinch. and he was telling me the difference between sports at Clinch versus sports at Lanier. Sports at Clinch, like, kids grow up dreaming to be on that football team.
Yeah.
They, the community loves to go and watch the football team. Wherever they're at, they're coming.
Yeah.
Lanier, especially when I was growing up at Lanier, we could have cared less about the football team. It was like, oh, no, they let us hang out during, like, we go and hang out during their game, but we're sitting by the fence, and we don't know what's going on out there. Like, we're just here to hang out with people and get some snacks.
Yeah.
There's no enthusiasm for our school. There's no pride for our school. It's like, we're Lanier. Like, I going to the bridge when I was in high school, which is in Berrien, like, me and my friends would go from Lanier to Berrien, and there's a bunch of Berrien kids, and they're like, yeah, Berrien. And they'd, like, talk trash about Lanier. I'm like, yeah, I agree. Like, it's a trashy school. Like, I had no love for my school or where we came from. And I feel like in Lanier, that's been one of the struggles that a lot of the churches have had. And there are a lot of our churches, for years, we've been, like, in this funk. And we struggle to have people actually want to buy into what's going on.
Yeah.
And there's lots of things that we could get into that's, like, the reason for people becoming disillusioned with the church, specifically in Lanier County.
Yeah.
But that's why for you guys at Northside, it's so, like, shocking and eye-catching when you have a group of teenagers running, college students running up and down their school saying, you should be at Northside.
Yeah. Because
it shows how much they actually have bought into the vision. They love the community there. They feel at home there.
Yeah.
So what's going on? Like, what is, I guess, top down? Because you've talked to me about your pastor before and how he radically, like, changed things up.
Yeah.
Is he is he constantly on top of you guys about, hey, this is the vision of the church and we're getting this out? Like, he's casting the vision. You guys are buying into it. Is it a lot of that?
Yeah, he is a huge visionary guy. So kind of the story, though, even his vision for Northside, when the search committee was looking for the next senior pastor, Northside had just gone through a really difficult time. Like, they were weeks away from permanently closing their doors, but they were still trying to find a pastor so that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So they found Pastor Robbie Foster, and they brought him in, and it's like, so what's your vision for Northside? We want you to come here. What's your vision? He told them, he said, I don't have one yet for Northside. And they kind of like, what do you mean you don't have a vision? You got kind of a pastor coming, you need a vision. Yeah. He's like, well, I don't know who y'all are. Y'all have asked me to come, but I don't know who y'all are. And not knowing what you're passionate about, I can't share the vision for this church. Not all churches are the same. There's different things that drive different churches. And that's perfectly good. Not every church should be the same.
Yeah.
So he said, be there for a year, get to know y'all, pray through it, and then together we'll discover God's vision for a church. And that's what he did. After 1 year, he set the vision of Northside. And so in just a statement, it's to live with purpose, leave a legacy through mentoring, ministry, and missions. In a year, that's what he found out to be the drive of that church. And then it's just been in specific ministries, giving them resources to do well over the years, and to be able to do ministries for all the departments.
Yeah.
But no, he's always giving from the overall vision, giving smaller visions or branching off of that to just keep pushing Northside forward to where God wants it to be. And kind of something that recently they've talked is, like, a question to ask is, have we reached a point where we're satisfied as a church? Like, do we have enough?
Yeah.
Have we reached the finish line for Northside? And it's just a question to get you think, but hopefully the answer is no. Like, we want to keep growing. We want to keep seeing people come to Christ, be baptized, be disciples, so that they then can go back out and just keep repeating the process.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of recently been a huge drive. Just a question to ask is, are we satisfied? If we're satisfied, then we need to check our heart. But hopefully we're not satisfied and we want to keep going forward.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think we, at the time I'm recording this, we just had an elders and deacons meeting about like kind of the state of our church, and that's one of the things we didn't say it that nice, but that's kind of like the question we were like all wrestling with is where is our church at? Like, are people done? Like, do they feel like they've done a good job and that this is it? Like, we can shut doors, or we can just coast from here on out. That are you satisfied question. I feel like there's been times in my life where, as a Christian, maybe consciously or subconsciously, I have felt like I'm satisfied. Like, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And I can like pump the brakes. But then that's like the dangerous part. You then start coasting or, slacking off, whatever it is. And you get to this point where like life is death. And there's like, me and Berlin were talking about like Alice in Wonderland. And like what we name our kids and stuff like that. And I was like, Alice would be a cool name. Like, we like encourage her to like view the world as a wonderland. There's so much that God's got out there for you that's interesting and exciting. Like, don't look at the world and be like, oh, this sucks. Like, doom and gloom.
Yeah.
Like, don't buy into the pessimism. Look at everything and everyone as a gift from God that you can explore. And I feel like those times where I've been satisfied, it's or stagnant. The thing that snaps me out of that is looking back at when I first became a Christian and being like, yo, what happened to the passion that I had before? What happened to the zeal of I'm gonna share Jesus with everybody, even if it annoys the bejesus out of them.
Yeah.
Like, what is that phrase of you had the confidence like go to hell with a squirt gun?
Yeah.
Like, when I first became a Christian, that was definitely it. Like, grew up in church, I grew numb to the gospel and all that stuff, and you just know the Bible stories. You're like, yeah, I get you're gonna act Jesus at the end and tell people to come to the altar. But then when I actually experienced Jesus, then I was like, no, everyone at my school is going to hell, and I gotta like step in. I gotta introduce them to this Jesus guy. Like, he's amazing. No one's talking about him. And even feeling that way at my church, being like, why are we not talking about him enough? There's just that passion. But I feel like a lot of times you have to, when you ask that question, are you satisfied to your church? You have to be like, do you guys remember when you first got saved?
That's good.
And then for some of them, I think they'll realize that, I've never was saved because I never had that moment.
Yeah. That
like life-changing moment where the course of my entire life shifted. I can think about my dad. He was an addict. And there is a clear difference between pre-Jesus Carl Gregory and post-Jesus Carl Gregory.
Yeah.
Like, still struggling, same addiction. It just went a very different direction. And like, he's raised 3 amazing kids, that being me. But 3 amazing kids who they know their dad loves them.
Yeah.
Pre-Jesus Carl Gregory would have raised 3 kids and probably been just like his dad, who had anger issues and abuse and just neglect for his family.
Yeah.
But Jesus comes in and it all like radically alters the family history.
Yeah.
Of like, okay, now Austin, Jessica, Daniel, we can't be the same because of what happened in our dad's life. It changed the course of the Gregory family name.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know. It's interesting you brought it up, though. Here recently, I was reading through Psalms, specifically Psalm 77, and it's a psalm of Asaph. And like the first, I think it's 10 verses. I mean, he's just crying out to God, like, God, where are you? Like, he's searching for God, just wanting to know where he's at. God, what's your plan? And he's like just really confused and concerned and just heartbroken. God, where are you? And then it's like complete different tone in the Psalms. It's like, okay, God, I will remember who you are. God, I'll remember what you've done. God, I'll remember how mighty you are and just the deep, deep love that you have for me.
Yeah.
And it's that remembering part, God,
Yes.
when you first were there, when you first came into my life, and just going back to there.
Yeah. Man, I love the song. You just reminded me of, there's a season where for like a year or so, I was just reading through the Psalms like constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the thing I loved the most, is the tone shift.
Yes.
It's like, there'd be moments where like David's like, yo, I hope you obliterate everybody. Like, are they family? I don't care. Kill them. I don't want anything to do with them. And then like the next line's like, God forgive me, forgive them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's such a human moment though. We're constantly battling the flesh and the spirit in us.
Mm-hmm.
Of that fleshy side of like, as a Christian, a lot of times you're called you're called to the narrow road, and it's harder, and you have to forgive people,
Mm-hmm.
and you gotta be patient with people, and you gotta like be slow to speak, quick to listen, and that definitely means in those arguments and those tense times where you're like, I want to beat this person to a pulp.
Yeah.
Like you're called to be quiet and be patient and see this thing through. But there's those fleshy parts where you seek blood, and you're like, this is Grand Theft Auto in your mind, and you're wrecking havoc on everything.
Yeah.
But then, as a Christian, you're also confronted with the spirit, and that's that spirit of Jesus living inside of you. That's like, yeah, but you can't. You can't. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say what I was thinking. I'm thinking of Grand Theft Auto too much right now. I don't play that game. Yeah, you're just confronted with the spirit being like, no, there's a different way you gotta handle it. Like, you gotta slow down.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta pace yourself. You gotta see this person as not, an annoyance in your life. You gotta see them as a blessing. And man, yeah. I want to get into your story though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is definitely where Charlie helped me out.
Go Charlie.
Yeah. So you did grow up in church.
I did.
Okay, and you grew up at it's not Northside. You're at Northside.
It's Greenwood.
Greenwood.
Yes.
Greenwood.
I grew up at Greenwood, and then I think it was 5th or 6th grade. My dad and I went to Crossroads for a year.
Is Greenwood down the road from Crossroads?
It's actually down the road from Northside.
Or Northside.
Yeah, it's on Park Avenue. Like,
Is
you're
it-
going back to Lakeland, but you don't even get to Perimeter yet. It's Greenleaf. You know where Greenleaf is?
Okay, so
It's
this
right before you get to Greenleaf on the right.
Yeah, my boss.
Oh, really?
He grew up there,
Oh, cool.
which was It's like, okay, and I also, it's a very convenient name, Greenwood, Greenleaf, like right next to each other.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever made that connection.
We were passing by. I was like, did they like try to play off of Greenleaf being across the street?
Just don't get them confused.
Yeah.
Big difference.
So you grew up at Greenwood. How long was that?
Up until 6th grade. So
Okay.
yeah, like I was
What kind of church was that?
more traditional, and I don't know about when I was young, but the last couple years we were there that I can remember.
Yeah.
It was a church that was just struggling. They had pastors come and go. Most people were leaving the church. And I think there was some church hurt too, but I was a kid, so I don't even know what that was. I can't even tell you, but it's probably pointless.
Yeah.
But, the reason we left was, and people leaving the church, like it was me and another guy in the youth group. And my dad, he remembers growing up, he wasn't at a big church growing up, but he was at a church that had a thriving youth ministry. And so he wanted me to have a similar experience that he had in a larger youth ministry. And so that's when we went searching for other churches, looking for that.
Okay.
So even though he was comfortable at that church, he loved everyone there.
Yeah.
If my dad did not have me, he would probably still be at that church.
Yeah.
But as a dad, he made
Yeah.
a sacrifice for me. It was
Yeah.
really cool.
Okay. And so we're gonna back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Your parents got divorced when you were super young, right?
2.
2 years old.
Yeah.
Is your mom in your life really, or?
Not really. I see her every once in a while, like family events and things like that.
Yeah.
But growing up, my mom after they divorced, split custody. She was on drugs and alcohol, boyfriends that were abusive.
Yeah.
And so when I was 7, my dad got full custody of me because I came and told him, I said, I don't want to be around that lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's just, it wasn't great.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And so she's gone through rehabs, jail, all that kind of stuff. And here, I think it's getting close to 4 years or 5 years clean. And so
That's impressive.
yeah, it's good.
So I did not know that. Okay, this is good. So what's your relationship personally with like substances and that, like alcohol and stuff like that? Is it like, I'll speak for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And this is definitely for myself, not for my siblings.
Yeah.
They have their own journey. But for me, as I got older and I understood more of the struggle my dad had with it, and especially like family history, but more specifically my dad, and even seeing him struggle with it because he relapsed not too long ago, I made the decision, like, I'm not ever going to touch that stuff. Like, I'm not going to go near alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you guys do. I'm just not going to even attempt to have control over that because of, I feel like if you see enough people in your family struggle with it, if you're a betting man, you should probably not bet that you can, like, you're going to be the one who got control over it. So I'm like, I'm just going to avoid it altogether. Same with drugs. And what it did was actually open my eyes up even more to a lot of the people that, like, I grew up in high school with, who would come to the Bible study I hosted, and seeing how much substance abuse and stuff like that can really wreck your life.
Yeah.
Like, it is, I get the idea of like, yo, we're just having fun, like, you know, like, we're just chilling out. But then I've seen kids who have such, I'm thinking of one kid in mind. Me and him were like best friends in middle school, and he was so special, like one of the best basketball players I've seen. And he was like he killed the drums, like amazing. So it kind of sucked because he got like the two gifts that I definitely wanted. I wanted to be a cool drummer, and I wanted to be a really good basketball player, and I didn't get either of those. And I'm watching this kid, I'm like, dude, I'll at least be your best friend.
Yeah.
But watching it sucked because I knew the kids who specifically targeted him because they knew his mom, and they knew like her struggle with, like, she's in and out of jail, she's struggling with addiction. Dad, I don't even remember what happened to him, but like they knew this kid struggled, and they're like, we're gonna lure you into our group, and we know what we're getting you into, and it ruined that kid's life. Like, he completely went downhill, and I think he's on the up now. Like, last I heard, he's got a great little family, and he's met a girl who loves him, and I'm like, thank God, you don't need to be out on these streets.
Good.
But just him and a few others that were friends with in high school, watching the impact drugs and alcohol, like addiction, made on their lives sucked, because you just see people who have so much value and potential, and even like you just see God working at them, and even if they don't know it's God, and you're excited, and then drugs and alcohol come into the picture, that addiction, and it completely changes the course of their life. And then for a lot of people, they don't even understand the addiction that they're living with, which is a whole nother like trap in itself. Of you, if you're not exposed to recovery, or like for my dad, if he wasn't exposed to Jesus, there wasn't other Christians in his life who would have, like, he didn't, you don't know that you're poor until you come in contact with a rich family. Like, I remember that moment in elementary school, where the girl came up, she's like, do y'all live in a trailer? And I was like, I live in a home. Not realizing that my home is like a mobile home. Like, And you just, like, as a kid, you're just like, no, this is normal.
Yeah.
You don't realize, I didn't realize our family was struggling in 08, 09 during, like, the housing crisis.
Yeah.
Because, like, my dad lost his job and all. I didn't realize that's why we were, like, eating the thing. Like, we made pizza out of, like, pieces of bread.
Mm-hmm.
And you pour, like, pizza sauce on it and, like, nuke it in the microwave or what. Like, that's our pizza.
Yeah.
I didn't realize we were doing that because we were poor.
Yeah.
As a kid, because I was like, no, this is normal. Doesn't everyone do this? And then you get older and you're like, no, people go to Domino's. Like, which now I'm like, even thinking, I'm like, yeah, even like that's just middle class. But
That's funny.
for a lot of families like who struggle with addiction,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know that where you're at is addiction until you come across someone a lot of times who's going through recovery, and you're like, oh, there's another way to do life, and it's not hooked on whatever substance I'm on. So yeah. What has been your relationship with that?
So yeah, I grew up seeing it, and I wouldn't say a lot. I'd say maybe several family members who do drink alcohol, whether it's just some that's recreation, some it's to get drunk. Like it's full spectrum.
Yeah.
I've never been tempted by drugs and alcohol because I've seen the hurt.
Yeah.
That physical hurt, relational hurt. Like I think of childhood. That's a lot of my memories. Is that?
Yeah.
And so, I really when it comes to drugs and alcohol, I hate it.
Yeah.
I really do. I do. Just because of what I saw as a kid. Like I probably wouldn't do this now, but I think it was maybe 9th or 10th grade. One of my cousins getting married and came to the reception. They started serving alcohol. I think I don't remember if I talked to my brother or my grandpa. I said, yeah, I'm not staying. Can y'all take me home? I said, I'm not. That's how much I hate it. I will leave a wedding. And I may not be that way now. I was just being a stubborn little kid back then.
You've been there.
and then they did. They took me home. Because they understood what I've seen with alcohol. When I saw it, someone's getting angry. And so I was like, I don't want to be here. And so in being more relaxed now, my convictions aren't more relaxed. I still stand by it. I don't think alcohol is for anyone, even if you're just doing it for recreation, for fun. At some point, it's almost guaranteed it's not going to be for recreation or fun.
Yeah.
It's going to become an addiction in your life.
Yeah. So, and if anything I ask is like way too personal, you really like,
You're good.
We can cut it out. I've heard of like my dad growing up with kind of like an absentee father. I know the effects that had on him, and like then that vice versa, like even have on me because just he doesn't know how to be a father because he didn't have a father. So then he's like, I'm just gonna try it out on you, and we'll see how it goes. But we don't talk in. I'm reading this book called The Toxic War of Masculinity, and she talks about how there's a lot of warranted, unwarranted stuff going around about manhood and the state of men and stuff like that. But she makes this one point in her book about how there's a huge effect that it has on the family when a mom's not there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for a large part, your mom's kind of been like in and out.
Mostly out, I would say, yeah.
How would you say that affects the family? That from what you can observe from your own experience.
Yeah. My dad and I have grown closer. I don't know if it's because of that, but my dad and I are very close.
Yeah.
I guess it's one of those things I don't really know. Like all my best friends growing up, they weren't divorced families, so I'd go hang out with them, go over to their house, see them.
Yeah.
Mom and dad, and I would they would want to go do stuff away from their mother and dad because they don't want to be around mom and dad. But I'm okay being there because I've never seen that interaction. Like I'm really curious, how does a mom and a dad interact at home? Like it's interesting to me, and it's the same way when I met Kirsten.
Yeah.
Like I love being around her mom and dad because I like seeing a mom and dad interact with each other.
Yeah.
So how not having a mom in my life, how it's affected me, I don't know because I don't know what it would be like.
Yeah.
I will say one thing that helped though is my dad's mother, so my grandmother. She was like the mom in my life. Doctor's appointments, dentist, pick me up from school. She did all that kind of stuff. Clothes shopping. That was her and our thing. That's what we would go do, and so that kind of helped feel that growing up. So it never felt like it was just me, my dad, and we were just secluded, and I didn't have like a mom in my life. But my grandmother was like that.
Don't you have a brother?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it older or younger?
He's older.
Okay.
He's turning, I think, 30 in November.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait. What, you're
21.
21.
I turned 22.
9-year difference?
Yeah.
How does that? Yeah.
So
explain that, because I've had like an older sibling.
Yeah.
They're like 6 years young or older than me.
So
And the younger 6 years.
Yeah. So he's technically my half brother. We have the same mom but different dads. So my mom was married to his dad. They had my brother. His name's Austin.
Cool.
Yeah. And so they divorced. I don't know how many years in between. Our mom met my dad, got married, had me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you close with your half brother?
Yeah, we're close. Like, we have this really odd brother relationship. Like, we don't text each other, call each other regular.
Yeah.
But whenever we do call, text, or hang out, it's like we were just talking to each other yesterday. Like,
Okay.
our relationship can pick up really quick.
Yeah.
But it's just he and I both busy lives, and it's hard to find time.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah. Does he live in this area?
Yeah, he lives like. This is the crazy part. He lives like 5 minutes from my house.
Man.
So, but no, he's been an awesome brother. Married, he has a kid. So I got a little 8-year-old nephew.
Yeah. Does having a nephew make you want to have kids more, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I love my nephew.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what happened. I've always wanted like a family, but when I met my nieces and nephews,
Mm-hmm.
and there's 4 of them now, which is bonkers. Because I just got married. I'm like, dude, let me catch up.
The cousins need to hang out. Slow down.
Yeah. But when I met them, I was like, oh, nah, kids are fun. Like, and I was telling Berlin, because like we're just got married, so we're like thinking about like, okay, how many kids we want, all this stuff. And I'm like, I really look forward to wrestling. Like, my dad and me wrestled so much as kids, and I do that with my nieces and nephews. Like, they love me like picking them up and like body slamming them on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
And like obviously I hold back a little bit. So I'm not like
I know you
trying
gotta go
to
all
be,
out.
yeah. But I was like, I look forward to that. Like, that's gonna be fun. Of like your kids. I heard this guy named Belief. He talked about when you let your kids wrestle with you, what you're showing a side of you that's vulnerable, and you're letting them like get the best of you at times. Like, obviously, like, you still gotta be dad. You gotta win. So you gotta knock them out at some point. But there's moments where you act like they got you, and like you got surprised, and it is like, I don't know, it's this special moment with you and your kids where the seemingly weaker, they get to experience strength against someone who obviously could destroy them.
Yeah.
But it's that cool little moment that, like, as a kid, it has a bigger effect on us than we realize. We don't realize it until later on, where we're like, yeah, I really appreciated like those times where I thought I beat my dad in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, he won the overall game, but there was this one point where like I shot over, made the 3. Really, he took a few steps back, like made sure that he was a little slower to blocking me. But those moments where it just boosts his confidence in you, like, oh, it doesn't matter like who I come up against. Like, I if I focus on skill, I work hard, I can be better than the best, which in your mind as a kid is just your dad.
Yeah.
Like, he's better at me than everything. Granted, that has not went away at all as I got older. Like, somehow my dad, broken hip, whatever, you know, his back's going out, it seems like, still can beat me. I'm like, man, what the heck? But when it comes to you going Northside,
Mm-hmm.
how long were you were there from like what 6th grade to junior year?
To at
Not Northside, Crossroads.
Crossroads. It was, I think, I can't. It didn't fall on the school year, so it was like January to November. Like it was just one full year.
Oh,
I think it was like half of 6th, half of 7th grade, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So I don't know how old I was then, but
what was the deal with leaving there? Like,
neither my dad nor myself were getting connected. Like it was a great church then. My dad had friends there. I was building some connections, but it just wasn't where God was wanting us to be our next church home.
okay. And so then y'all are invited to
Yeah,
Northside?
so my dad's Sunday school teacher at Crossroads, he was moving churches also. He's like, this isn't for me either. So he moved. He started going, and then he invited my dad. He's like, hey, Northside's a cool church. Come check it out. So my dad and I came, and it was great.
Was it as big as it is now then?
No,
or?
it was, I think, in the maybe 500s, maybe. Probably closer to the 400s.
How big are y'all now?
800, 900.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a smaller church.
Y'all have an odd, like a balcony area.
Mhm.
Okay, that's why.
Yeah.
When we went and visited for the Christmas service thing, there were so many people there, and so much I was trying to take in.
Yeah.
Because it's like the stage is slap full. People, they're even like standing in front of the stage, right? The orchestra.
This last one, I don't know that they were standing in front that year.
Okay.
There was one year they were. That may have been that year.
Okay.
We've done it so many different ways. I can't remember.
I was like, I'm taking all this. I'm like, how do you get people to come to practice? Like that I'm going like logistics on how all this works in my mind. And then we found some people from the bridge there, like supporting their granddaughter. And so like she's the lady from the bridge is a talker, and she was talking my head off during the entire thing. I'm like, okay, yeah. And then she's like showing me pictures of her grandbaby too. I'm like, yo, we're here for the service. But there's so much, and I was just like a kid like at a theme park, just looking around, trying to take everything in. Completely missed the balcony. So that's why when you said 800, I'm like, wait, where are these people sitting?
No, it wasn't that size when my dad and I came. Like it was, so you have the 5 pew sections on the floor.
Yep.
It only had the 3 center sections.
Okay.
So the outside, what we call like the wings, like you can see the ceiling's different.
Yeah.
That was added on in 2017, 18.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. And so you got saved at Northside.
Yes. So we had joined January of 2015. They had a D-Now coming up in February. My dad made me go. Back then, I was not a people person.
Yeah.
I did not like talking. I didn't like being around people.
You
I
a
was
huge introvert, or you just
yeah, I was an
Okay.
introvert. Yeah, I didn't want to be around people. I was just, honestly, it just scared me.
Yeah.
I was terrified to be around new people.
I'm with you. My friend thought I was mute for like the first 10 years of us in elementary school. I was like, no, I didn't know what to say to you.
Yeah. But he's like, no, you got to go. The reason we came to a church so that you get connected to a student ministry, and that means you got to go to the events. And I was like, okay, I'll go. And so first ever time being at an event like that. So like with the D-Now, you stay at like a host home, and they have worship and preaching, and then they'll have a game on Saturday. It was the Saturday night. Pastor was up there speaking, and he presented a question similar to this. I don't remember exactly how he asked, but he said, if you were to die tonight, you were standing at the gates of heaven, and God asked you, why should I let you into my heaven? What would you say? And he then began to explain, like, good works, being in church, people thinking you're a good kid.
All the things we're great at.
Yeah. He said, none of that matters.
Yeah.
And in my head, I started thinking, I was like, that's the reason I thought I was saved. Like I went to a Christian school.
Got.
Yeah, like I've been to a Christian school. I knew how to be saved. Like I could tell someone how to be saved. Like I've been in Christian school, church. Like I knew how to tell them that. Yeah. But it was never a personal decision in my life. And so that night I was standing there. I was like, I need to go forward. But I'm an introvert.
Yep.
And I'm terrified.
How can I do this without people noticing?
Mm-hmm. And so I started bawling my eyes out right there, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And there was a leader standing right in front of me, and I had to work up the courage, like, to just grab him on the shoulders, like, hey, I need to be saved.
Yeah.
And so I finally did. He brought me to the youth pastor. I tell the youth pastor that. Well, then the youth pastor, he brings me out in front of everybody, hands me a microphone. This is after I've already prayed to receive Christ.
Yeah.
And so he took me to the corner, led me to Christ, and that kind of thing. So he brings me back in front of everybody. Introvert, by the way, just in case I didn't say that.
Yeah.
He was like, I need you to share with everybody. I was like, I'm crying, so I'm even more scared. I was like, now these people think I'm a crybaby. I was like, I gave my life to Christ today. Tears just coming out of my eyes. Yeah. And they all were happy. No, they didn't think I was a crybaby. They were excited.
Yeah.
And so that's when salvation started, and it was at that D&L I met my best friend, and even till this day, so that weekend has always been a special weekend in my life that, like we were talking about earlier, I have to always go back and just remember.
So what's the changes that happened for like, because I had a similar story.
Mm-hmm.
The good works thing definitely was the thing that knocked me out of place of youth pastor coming up being like, yeah, like even the demons believe. You got anything else? And I'm like, oh frick, this is all I got.
Yeah.
Like I thought I did everything, and he's like, no, your good works don't save you. And then me wrestling with that, and that being the way God saved me.
Mm-hmm.
But then I remember one of the things I was struggling with those early years being, well, how do I follow Jesus if I kind of have already been doing the things that people who follow Jesus do? Like, how do you have that life? What changed in your life from before to now?
Like a huge part of it was like I understood Scripture in a different way. Mm-hmm. Like before, like I was still going to a Christian school at this time, and it was a task daily to read your Bible. Like you started your day out. Teachers made sure you started your day out reading the Bible. And so it was just a task, read through the words, done. Let me start on my schoolwork.
Yeah.
Well, after that, it wasn't a task. Like I wanted to know what the Bible said. Like I knew the information, what the Bible said. I wanted to know, what did God put in that book for me, for my life, to grow closer to Him. Friendships were different. Relationships were different. And even my view of the church was different. Like I grew up going to church, and I always knew that's what you had to do. But like it was even just worship. Like I was excited to go and worship. Like even though I can't sing and I'm not musically talented, I was excited to be in the worship service and sing with other believers, because I knew we're all singing to the same God, and that was exciting. It was the heart that changed, but even led to my mind viewing things differently.
Yeah.
And it's not for me, it's for God.
Yeah. Okay, and so I forgot that Charlie pulled this out of you. The going to a Christian school growing up. Was you always in a Christian school?
Yeah, like that Christian school, they had a daycare also. And so I started at daycare at like 2 or 3 years old. It was right after my parents divorced. They put me in that Christian daycare. I grew all the way up, kindergarten, middle school, and I stayed at that Christian school through freshman year. And after freshman year, I was like, I think I want to go to a public school. I want that different change.
Yeah.
And so I went from having 8 in my class-ish, sometimes it was 5, it always changed, to like 700 in my class at Lowndes.
Yeah, that's got to be a huge change. What would you say was the pros and cons of going to a Christian school growing up? Because like my buddy Kobe Tomlinson is like the headmaster, principal, whatever they call him, at Highland Christian Academy.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things like we've been talking about a lot is misconceptions about private Christian education, but also like challenges that come with it and pros and cons of like, should you send your kid to public school if you're a Christian or to private, Christian route? And like one of the objections I had, which he's like, that's just a misconception everyone has, is at a Christian school, your kids aren't going to be exposed to sinners. I grew up in public school, and I always had the impression that like, no, this is like my mission field. It's where like I get to live my faith out and be different and like share Jesus with other people, and like this is like my mom and dad, they go to work and that's their mission field. This is my mission field.
Yeah.
If you put me in a Christian school, I have no mission field.
Yeah.
And then he's like, dude, we have some of the worst sinners at our school. He's like, we just teach them Jesus all throughout the day, but that doesn't mean they don't have to make a personal relationship with him.
Yeah.
Like, they have to go through the same process everyone else does with Jesus. Of you got to be convicted of your sin. You got to have that, life-changing moment where Jesus is like, where he just radically alters your life. And yeah. So what was your experience growing up in a Christian school? Did you feel sheltered? Did you not?
In experiencing both, like there were people that came through that Christian school that weren't like your greatest people, but it was nowhere near the level that I've seen at a public school.
Yeah.
Like in going to Lowndes, like you see way more and you experience way more, but also there's a larger volume of that. Like with more students, you're going to have more problem kids or bad kids. In a smaller school, you're going to have smaller group of them, and it would always normally work out where the bad kids, I don't know the best way to say that, but like they didn't stay there long. Year or two, parents take them somewhere else. Like I don't know if they were trying to, hopefully the Christian school would help them. Yeah. But they wouldn't stay there long. So at that school, I didn't see a huge, a lot of bad kids that came through, that I was exposed to different things.
Was it, and so then when you go to Lowndes, are you kind of like, who's your parents?
A little bit. Like most of my friends, like through Northside then, like they went to Lowndes, and so they would talk about school, so I was kind of somewhat prepared, and they kind of somewhat prepped me and that kind of thing and what to expect. So when I got there, I had to personally work on like my judgment. I was like, are y'all really acting like that? Like,
yeah.
I was like, hey, no, it's not why you came here, not to judge them. But it wasn't like a huge shock or anything.
Yeah. Do you feel like, I think that growing up in a Christian home, there's like all the like critiques about it or whatever. But I'm really thankful as I get older that my parents raised me like to know how to read the Bible, know how to pray. They constantly had God in the conversation. I'm thankful for it the more I get older, because I'm looking back and I'm like, those, like the Jesus Loves Me song. Just very simple. When I started going through a phase of deconstructing my faith because of some things I was taught in the church that ended up not being right. I go through this deconstruction phase, and I'm like seriously questioning, like, maybe I've been like bamboozled into believing something that ain't real. And like I'm questioning the resurrection, questioning like virgin birth, all that stuff, the Bible. Like, can we really trust this thing? And a lot of it too is like going through. I was in this Reformed church, and we're teaching total depravity constantly, and I'm like, yo, I already hate myself. You just telling me I'm totally depraved all the time doesn't help.
Yeah.
And obviously that's just like one doctrine in the 5 points of Calvinism. There's other things you got to bring into that to balance it out, and I just think I didn't get a balanced view of everything. But I'm questioning like my worth, my identity. I'm questioning if God really even did change my life. And through that period, the thing that like kept me holding on was the Jesus Loves Me song. Because it's like in a time of my life where I feel disconnected from my faith community because I'm struggling with all these doubts, and I'm like, yeah, but you guys aren't making sense with some of this stuff. Like, it's not like, do you read books at all? Like, and I partly felt like some of them are sheltered. Like, I found myself still hanging out with my friends from high school who aren't in the church, but going to church with a bunch of people who they live inside these four walls and they have no idea what anyone else is saying outside.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do y'all not share the gospel with people who like disagree with you? And as I'm struggling with this, feeling disconnected from my faith community, struggling with doubts, questioning if God even did something in my life, that Jesus loves me, yes I know, for the Bible tells me so. Like, it's that simple cliche message that like pierced through and was like, just hold on.
Yeah.
Like, you're struggling with doubt, but I promise you, if you just like keep reciting this in your brain, wake up every day and say it again, it's going to have an effect. And obviously that's like part of scripture memorization or meditating on the word, is like the more you fill your mind with God's truth, the more the lies, they don't have room in your head.
Yeah.
And I don't really remember where I was going with that, to be honest.
It's good, whatever you're sharing. It's really good.
But I asked Andrew Rowland this, because he's the youth pastor at Refuge Church in Lakeland. And through his ministerial program, he and his wife Lainey had to go and visit a bunch of churches in like the Church of God organization, and they're exposed to all the different kinds of Church of Gods there are.
Yeah.
And I asked him, what's the thing that's encouraging him about what he's seeing like as trends in churches, and then what's the thing that's discouraging? And I've asked Kobe Tomlinson the same thing, and because I'm wrestling with this, there's some things in the church that I'm noticing, and I'm like, we should probably be a little more careful over here, but I'm also very encouraged on this other end.
Yeah.
So you being at Northside, and I'm assuming y'all have a good bit of connections with the churches outside of y'all. What's the thing that's worrying you about church culture right now, and what's the thing that's encouraging you?
Good question. Let me speak on the encouraging side. I don't have to think some on the discouraging side, but encouraging, I haven't seen some of the other churches that are in our area very well, like what they do. But at Northside, what's encouraging is the body of Christ loving to serve. So we had an evangelist come through and just for our recent crusade, and his messages are always just geared towards the church. That's what he's really good at. And in that, he was just encouraging our church, which he says he always talks about our church, but he says always just to keep that focus of loving your church, serving your church. And our church body, they do that. Like, we have multiple members that serve in different ministries, and I think when you have a church body that is actively serving in ministries, they're staying connected to the church, but also staying connected to other believers. So that's one way I've been encouraged with our church, and I think it's even gone towards just the growth and the health of our church where it is now. Members loving their church and serving their church. Yeah. Like, through God, Northside has impacted all of the members' lives. Yeah. Some salvation, baptism, a home, connections with other believers. God's done a lot of that through Northside. Yeah. And a way that we can show our thankfulness and gratitude towards God is giving our time back to the church. Yeah. His home for Christians. Yeah. That's one way I'm encouraged. Discouraged? I don't know right now.
Yeah. Maybe this will help you think of something. One of the things that kind of worrying me and discouraging me a little bit about the church, because me and Berlin have been visiting a few churches, and this is a struggle we've even seen in our own church, and elders, deacons talk about this, but it seems like some of the culture in some of the churches is we're so production oriented. Of we gotta have the most spectacular service, and that like the easy critique is to be like, this is why Hillsong imploded. Like they're so focused on having this rock concert and like amping people up. But I've seen this in like the 50-person church in the 50-person church, you know, in God knows where, in the middle of nowhere, where they focus so much on on producing a service on Sunday and making it look like their church is doing more than it actually is. And I guess what I'm meaning by that is we have so many programs, so many ministries, that we haven't took the time to say, okay, has this family that's been coming to our church for 10 years, will they be a faithful Christian 30 years from now? Or are the kids going to fall out of the faith? Like, are we actually discipling people, or are we training them up to be servants of, and I don't want to say what I'm about to say because you kind of, it's a similar phrasing of how you just said it, but good. Not meaning different things.
You're good.
Or are we creating servants of our churches just to keep the name alive? Of like Matt Chandler, you know, one of the things that they've been doing at the Village for the past few years is people are coming because they're like, Matt Chandler's the best preacher. And the Village's name, and wherever they're at in Texas, Dallas or whatever, it grew. And so they have multiple campuses, huge like mega church. And Matt Chandler was like, this ain't what we're called to. We're not called to make sure the Village Church's name goes down in history as the greatest church. And they had a lot of people in the Bible Belt, like, we love that. We love the legacy of the church. And so what he did was those campuses that were like live streaming him preaching to all these other spots throughout the city, they started putting pastors there. And they're like, you know what? I'm awesome. Not only are we putting pastors in these campuses, so they're preaching a completely different sermon than what's going on at the main campus, we're going to turn these into their own churches.
There we go.
So now it's like, I'm going to make up some name. Some Red Rock Church, the Village Church, First Baptist Church. They all came from the Village Church, but they turned into their own churches. And so the Village's name isn't as big. And his joke was, we're the fastest dying church in America because they started putting to death the Village legacy. But then not only that, which I loved even more, was he was like, people are coming just to hear me preach. I'm going to preach less. And so that cult of personality that we love in like American churches, he's like, I'm going to be gone the entire summer. I'm not even, like, I'm going to be at the church. I'm just not going to be preaching. And we're going to train up other people to take my spot.
That's cool. And
so the church, he's protecting his own church from buying into that cult of personality where they're like, we're just coming here to hear Matt Chandler preach. Instead, they're gonna be disappointed because some rando is up there that no one's ever heard of. Turns out he's actually better than Matt Chandler. But it's because Matt Chandler gave him the opportunity to grow in his gift and skill. And so then the things that's worried me about the church is us falling into that cult personality trap. Like, we see so many churches. Hillsong, Mars Hill, I think it's Gateway Church is one of the other ones. Even Francis Chan's church. Like, Francis Chan was bullied by Mark Driscoll and James McDonald back in the day because he left his megachurch to go and do a house church. And Mark Driscoll and James McDonald are like, are you stupid? Like, you could have spawned off 10 other churches, live streamed. Like, you're an incredible speaker. You could have live streamed yourself to them. And you just left all that behind to go to a house church? And Francis Chan was like, my people weren't coming to hear about Jesus. They were coming to hear me. And so he had to, like, ruthlessly, like, kill himself in his, like, his name in his own church and eventually leave because that's the only way he could stop people from coming to his church just to hear him speak. And I feel like a lot of smaller churches that I know of look at these bigger churches and they're like, well, we want to be like that. And so they do that. They foster this community that loves their pastor, which is good. We should love our pastors.
Yeah.
But there's like a dangerous love of your pastor can do no wrong. He becomes a one-man show, and suddenly the church body isn't a church body. It's just an audience.
Yeah, well, that's a good observation.
Yeah,
no, that's good. You got me even thinking about, like, even inside my ministry, make sure that doesn't happen.
And it's tough because, like,
you probably don't see it coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, is like we all get into ministry. I hope we all get into ministry because we fell in love with Jesus.
Yeah.
He changed our lives, and me and you probably have the same thing. We were introverts.
Mm-hmm.
This was not something that we're like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to hundreds of people every week about Jesus. That probably wasn't what we imagined our life to become. But God changed it so radically that he's like, I'm turning these introverts into some extroverts.
Yeah.
And we're just hungry to share what Jesus done in our lives with others.
Yeah.
But then the problem is like we get so good at the skill of preaching and the skill of leading that we miss how it's affecting the people in the pews.
Yeah.
And when I first came to the Bridge, anything I say about the Bridge, I'm putting this out there, I've said to the people at the Bridge, like, whether I've preached to them and said this to, like, from the stage, or I've said this in person to, like, even our pastor. When I first came to the Bridge, or came back to the Bridge, one of the things I did was I sat down with members. They didn't know who I was because I'd been gone for a while. And so I got to kind of sneak back in. People were like, he kind of looks familiar, but I don't really know him.
Yeah.
And I take them out to coffee. And I ask the same questions over and over again. I'd be like, okay, like, tell me your story, all that stuff. What's the good thing you see at the Bridge? And what's something you've been struggling with at the Bridge? And they all had the same issue with the struggling part. But what it did was it gave me this leverage. I don't know if that's the best word. It gave me this leverage, though, to the way I was going to approach ministry at the Bridge was going to be on the people's behalf. Of sometimes as leaders in the church, we get so consumed with the work because we're in all the meetings. We see behind the scenes because we are behind the scenes. Yeah. That we forget what the people out in the congregation are actually experiencing. And so, I would assume it's kind of like I'm not. This is gonna be a sports analogy. I don't know if it'll work. But boxers, they train for months in camp or whatever, and then they go box. And that box, their match is. I said box. That shows you how, like, uneducated I am about sports. That box.
I was like, yeah, that sounds right to me.
But that match is recorded.
Yeah.
Part of their training for the next camp is they're going to go and critique how they performed in that last match, so they can see from the outside perspective of how they're doing. And I've heard of preachers do this with, like, their actual, like, gifts or skill in preaching. Of they go back and rewatch old sermons they preached, and they pick up on, like, cues of, okay, I say way too much. Yeah. Gotta cut that out.
Yeah.
I am kind of all over the place, and so I need to work on structuring my sermon more. I'm monotone, so I need to, like, learn how to raise and lower my voice at certain points and whatnot. And so you learn the gift and skill of preaching by critiquing yourself or critiquing others, which is also fun.
Yeah.
But I think that as church leadership, we have to make it a discipline to take a break every now and then and go out and experience what the members are experiencing. Now, it's gotten increasingly harder to do that at the Bridge as a leader because people come up to you during, like, you can't sit back and just act like a member because people know you're not just a member. You're the youth pastor, or if you're the senior pastor, then you're really kind of screwed.
You don't know.
Yeah, you're probably not getting going to get that outsider perspective of your own church as a lead pastor because you're the guy.
Yeah.
But going to other churches.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's part of why me and Berlin have been visiting other churches. We're like, when we kind of needed a break from the ministry life, and we're just like, let's just take a breather, have a Sunday basically off, but also let's experience church as people who aren't in leadership and see what's going on. So we go to these other churches, and we're like, oh, they don't welcome. Like, we need to make sure at the Bridge we create an experience for the guests that makes them feel at home. Yeah. Not so that they don't feel like outsiders when they come in. Because that I think you said it before. The church is the family of God, right? The body of Christ. Well, if you're an outsider and you're coming into this and you can walk through a sanctuary and there's hundreds of people and no one speaks to you, it's probably an issue.
Yeah, it's a problem.
And so, like that's just one of the things like we've been trying to do is like, okay, we'll visit these other churches, see things that can open our eyes up to issues that we may have at the Bridge, so that we can identify the things that have been kind of a blind spot for us at the Bridge.
Yeah, no, that's good. Back to forgot the original question. It was like a pro-con question.
Yeah.
And I forgot the original question.
Encouraging, discouraging.
Discouraging.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Something you said, and I can't remember how you worded it now, that brought something to mind. In looking back, and it's kind of even my passion for student ministry. Growing up, and people I grew up with, or even I saw in middle school, high schoolers that had come through student ministry, most of them aren't in church anymore. From when I saw those high schoolers from the middle school, and even when I was in high school, there were more that are still in church. Like a lot of my friends, I know they're still in church, or they've moved away to college. I know they're connected with local churches there, but I know there's some that aren't. And my passion for student ministry, and where I've seen, at least at Northside and even other churches where they fail, is to train up the next generation of leaders.
Yes.
Yeah. Even on that side of church leadership, we don't always think about who's coming to take the baton after I'm done.
Yes.
Like, who's going to keep the mission to keep going. Like, you see that in Paul, like he's training up people all the time for these different churches. How is the local church doing that for that church, but also to send out to other churches? And so I'd say that's the one discouraging thing I see in local churches. Like, we just get caught up on just Sunday mornings, and now we don't look forward into building and preparing for the future. Yeah. And so that's why I like kind of the statement for student ministry, and kind of a vision I've shared with our students. We want to train up the next generation of leaders. Yeah. And we want to do that for all ministries. Not just student ministry, but like I want to train up other guys to be preachers. I want to train up other guys and girls to be teachers. I want to train up other ones to be media, worship, nursery, security, like all of those areas in churches, that even the ones I didn't name off, the little tiny jobs. We need to train up people to help fill those positions, because when all those ministries have their people, they can focus on the mission of that ministry. Yeah. Which is ultimately just to share the gospel with people and disciple more people.
Dude, I love that. It's encouraging because you guys are at a pretty large church for like in our area. I don't know when a church becomes a mega church, but
I don't either.
In our area, there are like a mega church. Yeah. But to hear the youth pastor say that my goal is to like disciple my students up so that they take my spot. Yeah. That's like a big deal, because a lot of times we don't want someone taking our spot.
No, that's good.
But you're 21 years old and you're saying, I'm already looking for the guy who's going to be the next youth pastor. And like that's just encouraging, because it's like, okay, it's not a small church, big church issue. Like, it's not like they have different issues. We all have the same issues, essentially. Because like we know those old churches that have been around for hundreds of years. They're small. They got 50 people there. And my question is always, all your people are like 70 years old. Who's taking this thing over when y'all are done?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you guys got like maybe 10 years left. That's always like where I'm at when I visit those churches. But to hear a church at y'all size, like from you in leadership saying, yeah, the goal of me doing ministry is to train up other believers in Jesus to keep this thing going long past the time I'm gone.
Yeah.
That's just, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Kind of last question.
Mm-hmm.
You told me before you want to be a senior pastor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why in the heck? Right? I was thinking about this morning. So like, I think it's a Charles Spurgeon quote. He says that you should be a pastor when that's all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
If you can do anything else, go do that.
Yeah.
Because the pastoral job is a hard job, and it will crush some souls.
Yeah.
Why on earth would you want to be? I'm saying this as someone who similar aspirations. Like I want to be a pastor.
Yeah.
Because I feel called to. But what is it about that job that despite any pressures or hardships, you're like, I'm sticking on this path?
Yeah. God told me to. Yeah. I can expand upon it more. And that's the spiritual side of it. Like it is a call from God.
Yeah.
But even on like the personal aspect, so even inside student ministry, I love equipping other people for ministry, so that even it's not I'm not doing all the work inside student ministry. I love equipping parents. I love equipping students to help take the ministry and go forward.
Yeah.
And that's part of a senior pastor's position, like small church or big church. Like he's equipping other ministries to go forward in their specific area.
Yeah.
I love the leadership aspect of it. Have no idea if I'll be good at it, but I love the leadership aspect of it. But even when it comes to the Sunday morning preaching, like I've gotten to preach at our church on Sunday nights, and that's just a huge draw of it. Like on the personal aspect, like I'm not on the spiritual side of it. I'm just on the personal aspect. Getting to preach to the whole congregation it's exciting to me. It's
fun.
Yeah. But even on the spiritual side, it goes back to what I shared about student ministry as what the drive is to train up the next generation of leaders. That's my personal heart. Like my life verse is Psalm 71, 17 and 18. Oh God, from my youth you have taught me, and I will still proclaim your wondrous deeds to the next generation. Even when I'm old and gray, I will still proclaim your mighty works. Like, sweet. And even as a senior pastor, when I'm old and gray, hopefully not bald, just old and gray, I still want to proclaim your mighty works and train up the next generation. Yeah. And I think from a larger view as a senior pastor, they're more equipped to do that.